Florida Congressman Cammack joins us now. Good morning to you, Congresswoman. So the proposal before lawmakers in Tallahassee would shift the balance of power in the Sunshine State's delegation from 20-8 Republican to 24-4. Do you see this as being a quick vote for those folks in Tallahassee?
Well, good morning to you both. And yes, I do think this is going to be wrapped up pretty quickly. Of course, us members of Congress, we have nothing to do with the redistricting in Florida. That is under the authority strictly of the state legislature. But this is something that we've been pursuing, and I say we as Floridians, since the 2020 census. It was no secret. In fact, it was widely reported that Florida was shorted congressional seats because, as we know, there were issues and some problems within that 2020 census. And when you look at how many people have moved to the Sunshine State since that census, we're looking at nearly 2 million new residents. And of course, the GOP enjoys a 1.5 million voter registration advantage. Now, we know this isn't political, but if you're just looking at the numbers alone, when you compare the 2 million people that have moved to Florida since 2020, compare that to Virginia, which only saw 250,000 people in that same time span, it's pretty clear to see who's looking to right a wrong from a census and who's looking to make it political.
Yeah, you make such a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because, as you can expect, Democrats are already calling this gerrymandering. How do you respond to those attacks, especially when you compare it to what just happened in Virginia?
The cognitive dissonance with that group is incredible, honestly. You look at the map that they proposed, how they got that on the Virginia ballot, it's simply criminal, talking about fair districts when it looks like one of the most gerrymandered things that, candidly, anyone who is a right-handed individual would draw with their left hand. It is not fair. It absolutely is political. And when you look at the Florida map in contrast, you see compact districts, you see districts that actually make sense, that follow county lines, that keep communities together. It's a night and day difference. And so the argument falls entirely flat. And I find it very hypocritical, honestly, that the Democrats have been playing this gerrymandering game for decades. Look at New England. You've got 40 some odd congressional seats, not one Republican, despite most of those states having about 40 to about 49% registered Republicans. And you're telling me that Republicans are gerrymandering? Give me a break. People see right.
Yeah, I'd like to switch gears now to the partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. It's been over 70 days now. Republicans in the House, the Senate, pursuing a two-step process to resolve the shutdown. Fund most of DHS through regular appropriations, use budget reconciliation to get funding for ICE and CPB. I know a lot of Republicans don't like this, but it's about the only way we're going to get it done. Do you think it will get done before President Trump's June 1st deadline?
The hope, of course, up here on Capitol Hill is that we get this resolved quickly and the most efficient way possible. I mean, we certainly want to see our men and women of the Homeland Security Department paid. And the games that the left has been playing with these individuals' lives, their paychecks, and quite candidly, our Homeland Security, that is just unacceptable. Unfortunately, the Senate has seemed to have lost its backbone, and they cannot seem to find their way out of a brown paper bag, for lack of a better way to put it. So they've put together this mess of a package, and they're asking the House effectively to defund ICE and CBP, opening up the borders on the promise that they're going to fix it on the back end. And we've seen throughout the last year and a half, give or take, that the Senate has not had the intestinal fortitude to actually do what needs to be done. So my colleagues and I in the House, we are a little bit skeptical, but we want to see this resolved. And it could be as simple as fund it all in one package, but there are some technical elements that we're having to work through. So that's part of the agenda that we're looking to address this week.
All right, Congresswoman Cammack, great having you with us this morning. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Have a good week.